March 21, 1986. Tyler, Texas. Ray Cox, an oil field worker, is lying on a metal table at the East Texas Cancer Center. He is here for a routine radiation treatment for a tumor on his back. He has done this 8 times before. It is supposed to be painless. But today, the operator outside the room makes a small mistake. She types a command, realizes it's wrong, and quickly hits the delete key to fix it. She types fast, too fast. Inside the room, Ray hears a sizzling sound. Then he sees a flash of blue light. Suddenly, he feels a sensation of intense heat, like someone just poured boiling coffee directly into his spine. He screams. He rolls off the table. He runs to the door and bangs on it with his good arm. When the operator looks at her screen, there is no warning, no radiation alarm, just a cryptic little message, Malfunction 54. She tells Ray it's impossible. She tells him the machine paused. She tells him he wasn't burned. She was wrong. Ray Cox hadn't just been burned. He had just been executed by a computer bug. To understand how a machine can commit murder, you have to go back to the early 80s. The Atomic Energy of Canada Limited, or AECL, released the Therac-25. It was the Tesla of medical devices. Older machines were clunky. They used heavy hardware switches and physical locks to ensure safety. If you tried to fire the beam while the machine was in the wrong mode, a physical fuse would blow and the machine would die. Safe. Simple. But the Therac-25 was different. It was fully computer-controlled. The engineers were so confident in their code that they removed the hardware safety locks. They believed that software doesn't break, hardware rusts, hardware fails. But code? Code is pure logic. Code is immortal. They were about to learn a lesson written in blood. Software is only as perfect as the human who wrote it. Back in Tyler, Ray Cox was sent home. Doctors told him he had felt an electric shock, but within days, the skin on his back began to rot. He was vomiting blood. He was showing signs of massive radiation poisoning. The hospital physicist, Fritz Hager, called the manufacturer. AECL told him, "It is impossible for the machine to overdose. The software won't allow it." But then, it happened again. Just weeks later, another patient, Verdun Kid, died after the same Malfunction 54 error. Fritz Hager didn't trust the company anymore. He sat down at the console and tried to kill the machine. He typed slowly. Nothing. He typed normally. Nothing. Then he started typing like an exhausted nurse who wants to go home. He typed fast. X, delete, E, enter. The screen flashed. Malfunction 54. He had found the killer. Here is exactly what happened. It's called a race condition. The Therac-25 had 2 modes. Mode X was X-ray. This required a high power beam, 25 million electron volts, and a metal plate to soften the beam so it was safe. Mode E was electron. This used a tiny low power beam directly on the skin. If you typed X, the computer began moving the heavy metal plate into place. This took about 8 seconds. But if you were fast, if you hit delete and switched to electron mode within those 8 seconds, the software got confused. The screen said electron mode. The beam power switched to high, but the computer forgot to check if the metal plate was there. When Ray Cox lay on that table, the machine fired the high-power X-ray beam, the one meant for deep tumors, but without the shield. It blasted him with 25,000 rads of raw radiation in less than a second. For context, a lethal dose is 500 rads. Ray Cox didn't just get a treatment, he stood inside a nuclear reactor core. Ray Cox died in September 1986. The software that killed him was written by a single programmer. There were no independent reviews, no delete key testing. AECL eventually recalled the machines and installed the hardware locks they should have had from the start. Today, the Therac-25 is taught in every computer science class in the world. It is the reason why your car, your plane, and your pacemaker have backups for their backups. We assume technology is neutral. We assume code is just math. But the Therac-25 proved that if you type fast enough, you can turn a healer into an executioner. What's a piece of tech you trust with your life? Tell me in the comments, and subscribe for more files from the Encrypted archives.